proud of the trip?
Very proud of it.
I will not accept and reject accusations that I have ever lied.
I never did what she said I did. I don't even know the woman.
He's obviously not fit to be in the United States Senate.
If he cares about the values and the people he claims to care about, then he should step aside.
Until I see additional evidence on Judge Moore, I'm standing with him.
Oh, and that's where things stand today. Welcome to Newsmax Now. Good to see you. I'm Bill Tucker. Hosting with me tonight is Lisa Daftari. She is a TV and radio host as well as commentator. She is an expert in Middle Eastern counterterrorism. She is the editor-in-chief of the Foreign Desk, and you can follow her on her website, lisadaftari.com. Lisa, thank you so much. It's good to see you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I have admired you for some time now, and I'm happy that you're being able to join us on the set. So it's good for you to be here.
Thank you.
Your expertise is foreign affairs.
Yes.
And we will get to that a little bit later in the program. But boy, we have a lot of domestic affairs to get to tonight.
Domestic affairs.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
So let's put up what's on the menu today. We've got more. GOP Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore stands strong, Moore unmoved by mounting calls from within his own party that he should step down as the Republican candidate to fill the Attorney General Sessions' old Senate seat. But why would that be surprising? This is the man who defied the Supreme Court of the United States as the Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court. No surprise there. And speaking of Sessions, the Attorney General testified for hours today before the House Judiciary Committee. He flatly denied he ever lied to Congress, ever. And when pushed by Republicans for a special prosecutor to investigate Clinton and the Uranium One deal, well, he told the members he wasn't sure there is enough there to warrant yet another special prosecutor, but he did leave the door open. And then do explain this, and we want to hear from you on this one. A man who has never voted in any election, who refuses to register to vote in any election, and who calls the democratic process a system of oppression, while admiring the vicious murderer Che Guevara, is named Citizen of the Year by GQ. You know who we're talking about. So give us a call on that and everything else. That is 1-877-NEWSMAX. That is 1-877-639-7629. So get your phones ready. We want to hear from you. And now, join us is our friend from out far. It is David Horowitz on the line. I believe we have David. Do we have David on the line? All right. Well, there he is. David, welcome. Author of Big Agenda. David's a regular on the show. We've spoken to him many times. David, we can't get much into this without starting about talking Roy Moore and the mess down in Alabama that the Republicans have on their hands, whether they want it or not. What's your reaction to what's going on down there?
Well, I'm no big fan of Roy Moore, but this is a political assassination attempt. It's the Democrats are such shady characters. Look, this happened 38 years ago. This run for office, he went for governor, he's the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, District Attorney. It doesn't come up until, wow, get this, so close to the election that you can't even replace him on the ballot. So it's, to ensure Democrats by the disgraceful Washington Post has done the hit job. The left is very organized, and they're ruthless. And Republicans are always trying to do the right thing and look at it. You can't wait 38 years ago. It just can't be done. We have no guilt by accusation.
David, how about all the Republicans who are coming out and asking him to step aside and calling these victims credible?
That's because they're not a jury. How do they're credible? Come on. This is just, save your own state.
Sure, go ahead.
This is Republicans, run for the tall grass, hide, whenever the Democrats attack, no matter how vicious, no matter how unprincipled, no matter how hypocritical. This is really hypocritical when you think of it. Anthony Weiner was already exposed as a sexual predator when he ran for mayor. You see one Democrat say no because you can't do this and so forth. So the Democrats are completely unprincipled and completely unscrupulous. And Republicans, as I say, they're always like individuals trying to do the right thing. Look at all the Republicans that jumped ship over the Billy Bush sex, whatever it was.
Yeah, but in a world of Harvey Weinstein's right now, with the political climate being what it is, and then having these Republicans ask him to step aside,
so
what are his chances of winning anyway at this point?
The Democrats are very good. Well, I think he probably does in Alabama. But the Democrats are very good at political assassination. If you watched the hearings of Jeff Sessions, I mean, they've taken this stupid little thing where he met a Russian at a reception and didn't mention it.
Yeah, but David, I want to interrupt you and just say, I mean, yeah, I was watching the Jeff Sessions in the House Judiciary today. But Jeff Sessions is a big boy, and he knows that he's playing hardball politics. If he can't sit up there in front of a House Judiciary Committee, defend himself, which he did a rather credible job of, and even got passionate about defending himself, this is all part of politics. Just like the Roy Moore stuff is all part of politics as well. But I got to ask you about a weird move, and I'm sorry to keep talking over you, but there's a weird move that's being floated by Mitch McConnell. That somehow the Republicans could take Jeff Sessions, put him on the ballot, along with Roy Moore, split the Republican vote, run against Doug Jones. I can't see in this.
I just think Republicans generally have to understand that we're in a war, and I mean a war. The Democrats, what they have done is seditious and treasonous. You can't conduct a resistance campaign against the duly elected president. You can't, instead of having confirmation hearings, conduct a witch hunt. They seceded from the Union for the second time. The only other president who's ever been attacked like this when legitimately elected was Abraham Lincoln. And until Republicans start fighting fire, the Democrats will roll over them and destroy our system. The Democratic Party today is a racist party. If you watch those hearings, how many black, lawyers do you have at the Justice Department? How many black FBI's? Well, is this the country we now have where we have racial quotas for everything? Well, as far as the Democratic Party is concerned, we do. And Republicans are still too tongue-tied to call the Democrats out for what they are. They're liars. They're seditious, and they're racists. And what they're doing is completely unacceptable in the system of politics. That's my 2 cents.
All right, well, we're going to shift now. And before we shift our gears to a totally different topic, we went out on the street today to get reactions in the news from GQ magazine that Colin Kaepernick had been named Citizen of the Year by that magazine. Here's what the folks out on the street had to say. Let's get your take when we come back. Here, play them, guys.
I don't have any issues with Colin Kaepernick. Okay. I think he's drawing a lot of attention to inequality in this country. Okay. And I think it's a good thing.
I think he is.
And why is that?
Well, because he stood for something he believed in, and he put his money where his mouth is.
It's probably a disrespectful thing that most would see it as. But then from another side, as a perspective from a minority, I guess they would feel there's some issues, the points that they would like to make. And at this point, I don't know if this is the ideal way of doing it, but this is their way of taking a stance, I would say.
I come from a military background. My husband is in the military. I believe we all should stand.
I'm mixed. I'm okay with it either way. I don't have anything against it. He certainly put his career on the line for what he believed in, but I'm not sure everything he does I agree with, so I'm on the fence about it.
So I would say no, and this is why. I mean, for him to wear socks that say basically cops are pigs is a disgrace from an uneducated person.
All right, that's not the guy on the street today, and I just want to point out before I let David weigh in on this, this is a guy who has never, ever, ever registered to vote in any election. This is a guy who said he wouldn't vote because it would be submitting to an oppressive, suppressive system. And this is the guy that has been named Citizen of the Year. Maybe he needs some civics classes, but that's my 2 cents. David, what are your thoughts?
Who cares what GQ thinks? It's just an expression of the racism that's engulfed the progressives, the political left in this country. The NAACP in California is calling the national anthem racist because they're illiterate and can't read English in the first place. But it's the main thing is there's this whole movement to call America a white supremacist country. 5 years ago, people in mental institutions for saying something as stupid as that. America is an integrated country. It's the most tolerant, inclusive country in the world. And the inequalities that exist are the result of individual choices, not systemic racism, as the Democratic Party platform calls it. Institutional racism was outlawed in this country in 1964 and 65 with the Civil Rights Acts, just the way gender discrimination, which is what Hillary ran her whole campaign on, was outlawed with the Equal Pay for Equal Work Act in 1963. These are just lies that Republicans are too timid to confront. And that's the problem.
What do you think, David, is a way for the right to combat this in a way where, young people and millennials can be brought back into the conversation to actually be proud of their country, to know what that anthem stands for, to know what that flag stands for, and to cut out this BS that causes this rift within society. This guy is credited with, sacrificing his career for this. No, he didn't know that he's going to sacrifice his career for this, and I'm sure if he would rewind, he wouldn't want to give up his job for this. He was just trying to get fame for something that, go ahead, David.
Got a new career as a left-wing hater. Look, there is no remedy because our school system has been destroyed, again, by the left. The indoctrination that is going on, the curriculum of our schools is America is an country that we're responsible for enslaving blacks, not freeing them, which is the true story. I just heard again in their sessions hearings, this black congressman said we've had, the white congressman from actually said we've had 200 years of slavery in this country. Haven't. America was actually created in 1787, and slavery was abolished in 1863. Yep. So that's about.
And then, I'm going to leave it on that because I'm about to hit a really hard break. So we'll just go smashing into a wall. David, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Up next, Jeffrey Lord will be here. Don't go away.